Well, the courtroom was packed with survivors of the bombing as well as relatives of people who died in the bombings. There was a silence that came over the courtroom before the verdicts were read. In fact, the judge's clerk advised everyone to remain completely silent. As the verdicts were read, Mr. Tsarnaev looked down at a defense table and fidgeted a lot. He looked very self-conscious, actually. The reading of the verdict took quite a while, up to 10 minutes or so. There were 30 charges to read, 99 questions in all. And he fidgeted as this was being read. He looked down at the verdict form on the defense table, and at one point, when they were on approximately count 15, about halfway through, he actually lifted up the verdict form a little bit and flipped through it to see how much more there was left to go. The second phase of this trial, which is known as the penalty phase, could begin as early as Monday. The judge told jurors, we won't begin until next week. We're not entirely sure what day, but it could be as early as Monday. In this second phase, jurors will hear both mitigating and aggravating factors. The prosecutors will present evidence of aggravating factors, which are factors that make the crime worse, that they will say makes the crime so bad that he deserves the death penalty. They've already said what some of those factors are when they filed their notice that they intended to seek the death penalty, and one of the factors was the age of young Martin Richard, who was only 8 years old when he was killed. His defense lawyers will present evidence of mitigating factors, which are factors they believe mitigate his guilt and argue more for a sentence of life in prison as opposed to the death penalty.